Mr. Golnik, Fitchburg State has many students who are veterans taking advantage of the GI Bill for further education. However, several have not received their benefits for tuition, books, and housing, even though the semester is well underway. The Army Times identifies this as a national problem, as the VA system is simply overwhelmed. What can be done to improve the efficiency of the bureaucracy so that veterans' benefits are delivered as promised?
Thank you very much for the question. Well, I don't have a lot of experience with students receiving their GI benefits. I can tell you I was a Pell Grant student myself. I received GSLs and NDSLs. I wouldn't have been able to get through school as a low-income kid myself. So what I encountered in my experience, and that's how I'll answer this question, is that many times when my bill became due, the amount of money that was still due, that was from my GSL, NDSL, or Pell Grant, would basically be credited to my account. I don't know if this is occurring now here at Fitchburg State. I don't know how other universities do this, but I was never not able to take classes or buy my books and things like that because I had credit. Look, there's a lot of things going on with our veterans. Our commitment to them doesn't end when the wars end. I think that obviously there is bureaucratic problems. We're bringing back 2 million people who have been fought overseas. They're facing chronic unemployment here as well, higher than the unemployment we face nationally here in this country. We also have 1 million servicemen and women who have claims at the VA that are 65% or 125 days or older, so we can do better. We need to do better, and we need to make sure that we do on behalf of our veterans.
Rebuttal?
Well, I was very proud to vote for the GI Bill, the modernization of the GI Bill, because for a lot of reasons. One, this district, and even as it expands and comes to Fitchburg, Gardner, and 9 other communities, has a multi-generational tradition of service. It is a proud tradition in which parents have served, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. It is ingrained in the fabric of these communities. And I feel strongly that as those who serve and have the life-changing experience of war, that as they come home they have an opportunity to move on in their lives. And so modernizing the GI Bill was fundamentally important. And just for everybody's little background, this district was home to a woman, was represented by a woman, Edith Norse Rogers, for 35 years. She was one of the authors of the original GI Bill. So I understand how critically important it is. I actually had a conversation with Mr. Nee, who heads up the VA effort in Massachusetts just over this weekend, in which we have a young man on my staff who is a liaison to veterans, who brought up the issue of the delay in payments and how hard it has been on those who are taking advantage of the GI Bill. And my cupboard is here today in the office, in the room, if anybody has an issue who happens to be in the room with the delayed payment. So we register the issue, we will stay on top of it. Again, it's an example of where constituent services become very important as we help on the ground, and where policy is very important at the federal level, and passing the GI Bill was critical.
Okay, John, last comment?
I don't have any more. As I said, I don't know the rudiments of how the policies work, again, for me, and as I've always had credit given to me by anything that had been delayed for any reason, and believe me, my payments were delayed. So I don't know if is that currently happening? Do they get credit for this?
Nikki, any last comment?
Well, just to say that as we have been drawing down these wars and these young men and women have been coming home with all the associated issues, whether it's post-traumatic stress disorder from the multiple deployments, whether it's traumatic brain injury from the irregular nature of this war, whatever it may be, we have a fundamental obligation to care for those who serve, not only now, but into the future. And to that end, a number of years ago, we had the single largest increase in the funding for the VA in its history. So there's been a recognition that there hasn't been enough funds. We've expanded the funds. Now we have to make sure they're properly spent and address the real issues that veterans face.